Hey everybody, welcome back to Northernlion Plays the Binding of Isaac Afterbirth Plus. You hit the random button, you close your eyes, and you accept whatever fate is about to become your future. Blue Baby. Very interesting on the bottom half of characters in terms of ease of difficulty, which is not a sentence that makes any sense. The VXWE. FQR6. The Blue Baby conundrum is very simple, and yet not always easy to handle. We need to find a way to get HP, because realistically, we're going to get hit. Gaining one Spirit Heart from HP upgrades here and there is probably not going to do it for us. We need to be prepared. Yeah, I know, it's the song from The Lion King. We need to be prepared to handle whatever might come to pass. You know what one of the easiest ways to make it happen is? Money. Money's everywhere in this game. You shoot the poop, a little money comes out, you do that 5 times, you get the chance to buy yourself a Spirit Heart. Anyway, how am I doing? I'm doing well. It's no longer 8 p.m. at night, it's 1 p.m. the next day. Really, in terms of like what's going on, got very little to talk about, except I did record another tier list. And I was very passionate about it. It was a tier list of 150 fruits and vegetables, of which I will admit there were about perhaps 20 to 30 I had never consumed or was not comfortable enough to suggest a tier for it because I maybe have only consumed it in one unique context. But I got some controversial opinions out there, and I'm glad. I'm glad I got to finally say what's been on my mind about radicchio and arugula and alfalfa sprouts and so on. I had to call the city this morning. I'm a real Vancouver citizen. I had to call City Hall for a minor administrative issue. And can I tell you, it was one of the best customer service interactions I've ever had. I called City Hall. They said, your estimated wait time is 16 minutes. I waited 10 seconds, the phone rang and somebody picked it up. And they solved my problem within less than 3 minutes. It was great. It was beautiful. I have no complaints. Okay, I have no complaints about that either. Just wanted to take a look. With 2 bombs, normally I would probably look for a secret room, second secret room. But for now, I think I'm just going to save it in case we get a very rich tinted rock floor down here. Oh, that's very good. So we lose the poop power, but that's acceptable, I think. This is the smallest floor I've ever seen in my life. That's very nice, and I think this is the right time to take that for the HP upgrade as well. And to be honest with you, I think we turn this into a Blue Baby Angel deal, straight up. That's very nice. Let's try the pill. It happens. 0.98 speed, I would describe that as still pretty functional. So everything's, I mean, except for the speed downgrade, everything's pretty much going according to plan right now. I will probably endeavor to go to that curse room on this floor. We'll be in a good spot. But yeah, that was my dad did a tier list, and honestly, I recorded a Let's Look, well, not, excuse me, Let's Look At, that's a name I've not heard for a long time. I recorded a Northernlion Tries of Cook Serve Delicious 3. That game seems like a ton of fun so far, and, honestly, it's the first week since, like, early December that I feel like we're not in a drought for new releases on Steam of some ambition. And I don't mean that as an insult to the developers of the other games that I've done Northernlion Tries for, but, like, I've found some gems while scrounging, but I had to dig through, I don't want to say the dirt, because that's kind of a value judgment, but you know what I mean. I had to get my hands dirty. Now... Oh, if you'll excuse me. Now, I've, you know, I've been able to identify, like, you know, Temtem and Cook Serve Delicious and, you know, Draconoid and some games that I was like, oh, these look really interesting and they're coming out soon. Would it be possible for me to get access to it? And yes, the answer is yes. So Steam Labs will remain an integral part of my discovery process. Yet at the same time, I'm very appreciative of, well, of the developers who make the work that I, you know, piggyback off of for entertainment to begin with, but also of the fact that we're kind of leaving. That's really, for me, from an industry standpoint, that's the sign that we're leaving the holiday season. Is when developers who have been working on a project and have, like, targeted from a business sense, like, this is when I want to release, and they release their game, when those games start coming out. Because a lot of games that have come out on Steam, and a lot of games that will continue to come out on Steam, to be fair, I really get the vibe that it's like, we came out with this on January 13th, because we finished it on January 13th. We're going to stick with Crack the Sky. We are going to go to the Curse Room as well. So I think we're out of that scary holiday season. For better and for worse. Ooh. Ooh. Okay, very nice. Very nice indeed. So we have one Guppy item for the cost of a Spirit Heart. Well worth it right now. And we'll head down to the next floor. Feeling pretty good with a great spacebar item working out in our favor as well. You like to see it. Great rate of fire. Could still use a little bit of extra damage, but great rate of fire for sure. So yeah, that's been my day. Honestly, I didn't even want to hit the spacebar. My brain sent the signal before the executive function portion of my brain was like, please don't. Might be a better use for that in the future. But yeah, it's, you know, pretty low key over here. We did, and you know, we're gonna pivot into some Vancouver conversation temporarily. I did see some news today. It has now officially precipitated in Vancouver for 14 days straight. Some of that was snow. Some of it was rain. The news story also said that by the end of January, we will have had 300% more snow than usual for the month and 200% more rain. So we're really, you know, we're getting it. Over here right now. I was thinking, I was like, man, you know, it's not that I haven't been out of the house, but I like, you know, I go to the gym, I come back. You know, I go to the grocery store, I come back. I haven't really, like, left the house for leisure in a little bit. I was like, I wonder why that is. Am I feeling okay? And then I realized, yeah, you're feeling fine. It's just that it's unpleasant to be outside in, like, 7-degree rain over and over again. But I'm feeling good, like seasonally speaking, I'm feeling good. Sometimes in the wintertime I do get, I wouldn't say I have like seasonal affective disorder or depression, but you know, I notice a mood lift for sure in the spring and summer when I can actually get outside more often, even if it's just for like half an hour a day. But so far I'm like, I don't know, I feel okay. I'm counting my blessings while I still got them. A lot of people, you know, that moved to the Pacific Northwest realize, and I think the Pacific Northwest straight up is maybe the best place in North America to live. And obviously I'm biased because I live here, but I did also choose to live here. So is that bias or is that, you know, selection? I think I know the answer, but regardless. A lot of people that move here, within, you know, a couple of years, they find it's not actually for them as a result of the fact that it does rain a lot, and, you know, you don't get a whole lot of sunlight. It's kind of weird, though, because, like, Vancouver gets a lot of rain. Like, a lot of rain. But I am also, like, I feel like we get a lot of sun. In the summertime, the sun doesn't go down until, like, you know, 9:45 or 10 p.m. At least that's when it becomes, like, you know, so dark as to be, like, I don't want to say unpleasant to be outside, but I'm sure you kind of know what I mean. You know, you're like, no longer can I, like, look at my phone without the lighting being cranked up or something. Or, like, I have to look at my shoes to make sure I'm not going to walk on the road accidentally. Anyway. I do not mind talking about the weather. I always think the weather gets a bad rap. Very interesting to talk about from time to time. This is like, it only snowed once. Well, it snowed 4 times in 1 week. But it was kind of like the same storm. But it's still one of the harshest winters I've ever seen in Vancouver. Okay, this is not a good place to be right now. Just hold on for a second. We'll probably get a deal here, so HP is important. That was a risky but calculated play. And we're using our orbital to its finest possible advantage right now. Worth a shot, right? I'm not saying things are gonna go wrong, because honestly we're in a pretty solid spot. But things are on the cusp of becoming clearly safe or potentially a little dangerous in the future here. So this is a good floor for us to be paying attention. Let's put it that way. I will say, before I recognized how to call the city of Vancouver, I was looking up, like, you know, hey, how do I get in touch with someone about this thing that I want to talk about? And it was like, why don't you just go to City Hall? And I was like, can you do that in 2020? You can, like, walk into City Hall and just be like, hello, I have a problem and I'd like to speak to somebody. This is something I did not prepare for as a teenager and an adolescent, you know? I watched my my mom be on the phone with, you know, like cable companies and stuff like that, utility companies, contractors. I've never had my mom be like, hey, I'll be right back, I'm just running to City Hall real quick. So I was like, I don't know what to do. Even as a 31-year-old, there's still times where I'm like, I don't know what to do. I think that's true of all adults, though. Then I was like, phone number, and they're like, just plug 3 numbers into your phone. And I was like, yo, you guys got in on the ground floor of the telephone industry, huh? Whenever I picture, don't take this the wrong way, but it is very judgmental. Whenever I picture somebody, if they had talked to me and been like, I went to City Hall in person to complain about something, I'm like, oh, so you're, like, it's either a serious issue or you're insane. Sorry. For me, I was like, I need to know when the garbage pickup is gonna happen. Hello? Anyway, like I said, it's been a boring couple of weeks, but in a good way. In a good way. For now, you know, one of the biggest things I got going on, this Isaac streak, dude. And I'm choosing to relish this period of Isaac. I think, you know, a lot of things in life can be good. That was not a good place to stand. Can be good or bad depending on the way you choose to look at them, and it changes day to day, right? Like, I never would have anticipated after the release of Afterbirth Plus that if there was another bit of DLC coming for Isaac, it would take this long to come out. That's the negative way to look at it. We've been, look, booster packs notwithstanding, we've been in like the same position in Isaac for a long time. Same items. Man, I can't believe we've been to so many rooms without encountering a room of some use. But, you know, same items, same bosses, same paths, same mechanics, right? I wouldn't have expected that it would have taken this long for it to come out. However, now that it's on the horizon for 6 to 8 months from now, I am excited that at least I've chosen to think of this period right now as like 12th grade after you've already figured out what you're doing next year. Like for me, I got accepted into university, I don't know, it was probably like January or February of my senior year, which I think is typical. I think it's just when they go out. So the rest of 12th grade, I didn't really get like senioritis, which is when you know, stop caring so much about your work and you just like coast because you're already set. But I didn't like, you know, let's be honest, a big motivating factor for, you know, working hard in school had been handled. So, you know, I slacked off like a little bit. For sure. That's kind of how I feel right now, but like not in the exact same boat. This is a terrible floor for us. I'm just gonna call it out, okay? To have not gotten a shop with some spirit hearts in it, and to have not gotten an item room that has any use whatsoever is very bad for us right now. This is a dangerous time to be us. But I'm realizing now that, like, I'm gonna be super stoked when the DLC comes out, for sure. However, there will be some things about this period that I miss, you know? I'm gonna miss having the 100% familiarity with almost everything in the game. I'm gonna miss that. So I'm choosing to, instead of being like, the wait for the DLC is crazy, I'm choosing to enjoy this time where I'm like, everything's relatively safe and I can actually build a streak without being like, oh, there's a new item, I absolutely have to take it, even if it turns out to be garbage. You know what I mean? Deal with the angel. You love to see it. If I get some spirit hearts, I will fight the angel statue. I hate to say, I drew up the play and they chose not to engage me on it. It is what it is. I am not throwing a monkey wrench into this potential streak just to fight Mega Satan for the 333rd time. Repeating, of course. Is it Glyph of Balance is like if you're... I think I'm getting it confused with equality, maybe. But if your consumables are equal, you get a bonus? Is that what that is? I think we also got some spirit hearts out of it, so I'm very thankful for that. But at some point, we got to stop getting gas and start to, you know, think about getting a better car. You know what I mean? I don't know, maybe I'd actually prefer safety scissors for now. We're on the 5th floor and we have 5 items. That's kind of where I'm at. This is a huge room for any Blue Baby run. No, this is nuts. Anyway, so that's my philosophy on Isaac right now. Rather than being like, the DLC's never gonna come out. Instead, I'm like, you know, just a slightly longer period of embracing the routine before things get insane. I, of course, would like the DLC to come out faster as well, but hey, we're gonna be here for the DLC when it comes out. The only way I lose on the DLC situation is if I'm dead, which, you know, I don't worry about jinxes or anything like that, so I'm not sweating it. I'm just saying, you know, it could happen, but it would be, it's a very low percentage odds situation right now. I'm thinking. I'm hoping at least. And if this video proves to be prophetic, so be it, you know? At least I'll have left you with one last hilarious joke. You're gonna be like, he jinxed himself. No. Even if I die soon after the release of this video, if anybody calls it a jinx, I choose to haunt you. It's just that simple. Secret room? You can get the vibe already that this run is like massively slowing down. So this is where we need this to not be a bad active. That's not quite good enough. Thank you, Golden Bombs. I'll take it, but I will admit that it is not quite good enough to be super thrilled about. But it definitely, it crosses that Mendoza line. I don't know that term, except I thought it was like a line between like value and no value. Let me see what this is here. Mendoza line. Expression in baseball deriving from the name of shortstop Mario Mendoza, whose poor batting average is taken to define the threshold of incompetent hitting. Yes, so you might think it doesn't apply. It does apply. It's riding that line between competency and incompetency. It's playing only slightly above replacement, in my opinion. To use a sports term. Anyway. So I don't dislike the quad shot, but I would love to see... I mean, we're probably not going to get a deal here. So we're just gonna have to accept that we're gonna be at this pace for a little bit. It's better than it looks on the stat sheet, because, you know, the damage we have right now is not really the rate of fire that we have is not really reflective of our damage. Now, I could blow you up for a better deal with the Devil Chance, but I'd rather take whatever you've got, and if it's HP, it's HP, but I really hope it's mapping. Ancient Recall is... I think it's pretty much paid for itself then. Temperance, Temperance, Fool. Fool card, sadly, not going to be worth much, I think, but... Thank you. I knew it was coming. I was just like, when? Dude, you're really sucking up a lot of my capital right now. It is blue map. I think that's fine. Then give me, like, Temperance, Temperance. We're going to come back for those in just a second. No deal. The thing is... This is possibly ill-advised, but the worst case scenario is that, you know, we stop before it's too late, and the money is still good. The best case scenario, I really just want one blood bag to get our speed up so we're not as scared on the next floor. But I'm only willing to go to 6 Spirit Arts to make it happen. It's a leveraged gamble here. We've already fought greed, so we expect our shop to be pretty good. It happens. I'm not going to blow you up yet, but I'm displeased. Certainly displeased. I'm just... you know the run is weird when I start to do stuff like that, you know? Like, we're not in an incredible position to be throwing our HP away. Necessarily, because as Blue Baby, it's always dangerous unless you have one of those engines to kind of bring it back. But, you know, it had to be done to some extent. I feel like we have... The game has given us so few innate advantages since, like, the first couple of floors that it's up to us to make our own destiny to some extent. And this is not what you want to see either. Converter, I don't think, does anything for us. And... Sure, that's okay. To be honest with you, you do look at, like, Miss Mega and go, maybe? Sure, that's nice. But it only really helps us for one floor. To be fair, and actually, now that I think about it, I'm like, maybe that's worth it. The problem is Crack the Sky is good, and as a result, it doesn't really feel compelling to get rid of it for an item that will exhaust itself after one use. That's nice too, to be honest. But we could use that in conjunction with the Fool card to get one extra boss rush item. We're not going to qualify on time. We've already disqualified on time. But we could, in theory at least, go to boss rush using Mama Mega. And then use the Fool card to get out. But I honestly, I don't see it. I think Crank the Sky is more useful for us long term. So we will see these guys off. But they were one away from paying out, dude, guaranteed. And we have Strength and Fool. That's so nice, thank you. I mean, nobody... We can take pride on that floor. Nobody could ever tell us that we didn't give it all on that one. So this is really where I'm going to start to be looking at things to pick up. Really, okay. We need something on this floor. 3.67 damage. I mean, we've talked a lot about Isaac. 3.67 damage is not gonna get you there unless you have soy milk. So we're not quite there yet. Sometimes in Isaac it's like a plane crash. You don't really see it coming. Within a couple of minutes you go from cruising altitude to oblivion. Sometimes in Isaac it's like a ship sinking. You notice that you've sprung a leak, you started to take on some water, but, you know, you can still remain in denial that you're really in a catastrophic situation until it's a little bit later and you're, you know, starting to lilt. We're in that ship situation right now. All we need is a rose-sized piece of driftwood to at least get us out of it. Look, it's not the best metaphor, but you understand what I'm saying. So, isn't that the purpose of communication in the first place, is to transfer an idea from one person to another in a relatable fashion? No longer do we care about the blood bank. You know what was sick? Golden bombs. Remember that? Let's go. So the item room on this floor is of use, but really it depends on what's in it. The shop is what we would expect to be a little bit more important. Very good room there. Oh no. Now I don't know where I'm going, and I don't know where I'm going. Hey dog, I heard you like not knowing where you're going, so we took your not knowing where you're going and put a not knowing where you're going in it. Sorry, that's like a 14-year-old meme. A meme that's both from 14 years ago and for 14-year-olds. That's a shop. This is... I say this with no sense of irony. This is possibly the most pivotal room on this entire run. Now, there's a weird little selection bias, because if it ends up being useless, it's no longer the most important room. But if it ends up being useful, yo, with car battery, we can definitely buy this. Fish for something. Fish for something. Death. Strength. Devil. World. I think I'd rather take a world card with me. So, was this the most important room? No, probably not. But it did provide us with some decent benefits. Car battery is very helpful in its own fashion. Help me. I liked it better when you guys were clumped. Me walking into the Nutty Professor 3. I actually did see the Nutty Professor 2 in theaters, but I will accept no criticism for this because I was probably 12 to 13 years old the year it came out, so... I accept no responsibility for my own actions. I don't think we need to have... Let's go. Crack the sky for the mom fight. I think we can live with that fight just having our orbitals ticking for us. Certainly, though, this is... For a run that started pretty strong, like with 2 tiers upgrades right out of the gate, it has fallen off in a big way. The bright side is, at any given time, as long as you have HP, you're one deal with the devil away from turning a run from danger into, like, boredom. Drudgery. Let's call it that. I was waiting for the alliterative example. One more, please. Very nice. One more, please. You know, a brimstone. Maybe not with... Our rate of fire is still great. But quad shot might make brimstone tricky. We gotta deal with the angel instead. These are bad deal with the angel items. But we will take the ability to fly. Okay. I'm not fighting the angel statue. I will not. There's no reason to throw myself to the wolves like this. This is one where we really got to play this one very sensibly. 3.67 damage is just an absolute tire fire. An orbital always gives you the chance. And I mean, I think we have more than a 50% chance to win. You love to see it. But I do think this is... And this really goes to show you how protected and coddled we've been over the course of the streak so far. But I think this is one of the hardest runs in the streak, without a doubt. Now, I take no responsibility for that. It's very easy to have a hard run when you've had, you know, 15 item pedestals and none of them have improved your damage at all. Not saying, you know, the one thing we potentially could have done, there's two things. One is, instead of taking quad shot, fish for a better reroll, but I think quad shot as is already a special item. So, like, by rerolling it, we're less likely to see good items in the future to begin with. So you might as well take it if it's at least worth something. And we could have taken that first deal with the devil, even though it would have left us in a dangerous spot. But I don't think that many people would disagree with my approach to this run. So, in my opinion, the best outcome for us here is to beat the odds and get a deal. Deal with the devil with great items. Deal with the angel with some kind of damage booster. I would take either. I would be beyond happy. I would be borderline thrilled. I just don't want to be on the chest using our orbital to kill everything. I think we do want that now. Okay. I mean, it's kind of like... I like this. It's a strictly better version. Except, actually, it's not strictly better. A damage upgrade for the cost of one Spirit Heart I will take. It's tricky for me, but I do think I'm going to go crack this guy over the pony. We lose 0.6 speed, more or less, but what do we gain? The ability to use crack the sky more frequently. And I mean, that's basically what it comes down to. That's the full reason. So the pact, that was not wise on my part. The pact is not the item we needed to win us the game, but it is exceptionally helpful. It's not the be-all end-all. It's not gonna take you from difficulty to drudgery. But it helps a lot. It helps a little. It helps enough to be reasonably excited. But still, you don't normally find yourself in situations like this where, like, this room takes this long. I really think our next big moment is on the chest. Like, realistically, we're probably stuck in this situation for the time being. So this is, it's not quite a train wreck, but it's very, very close to train wreck status, to be honest. But I'm not complaining. Again, I'm choosing to treat it as a blessing. Lucky room. Bombs? I love the bombs now. They're keeping us steady. We run into a bad room, we use a bomb. We could use a bomb to go to the secret room, but the secret room interests me relatively little right now. You love that. Very helpful. Bomb? If you give me a bomb, I'll go to the secret room. Look at that. Now, we could fish for magic mush. I apologize, by the way, for the Isaac discussion. Normally we don't like to discuss Isaac this much, but this is certainly one of those runs where discussing what's happening, it might even be imperative to our success. So, we haven't had that in a while. I might be overcompensating, but we're doing so for good reason. My bad. You should be dead. You are dead. You are dead. And another thing, we're really getting close to the level where I only want to use Crack the Sky now and then, I think. Well, that I almost got mind flooded there. Oh, if you would provide for me a card like, I'll settle for like the Sun. But Emperor, oh my. Oh my. It would be lovely right now. To skip the entire cathedral. Huge respect on that. You know what? You just pop this immediately. This is a harder room than average. I'm happy to have it. We beat the odds. And got nothing for it. So the only thing you have to ask yourself here is, do you play that Demon Judgment? And I think the risk is honestly too high. I think you send them. That doesn't really help us, unfortunately, but... And then you... Did we go to our... We didn't go to our second secret room, right? We didn't. Oh, we'll play it. Look. At this point, I've resigned myself to the fact that we will not have time to have a real lunch. It's going to be one of those runs. Just drink a little bit more water. Never hurt anybody. And we will play this. The Spirit Hearts, admittedly, they would have convinced us probably. I think we want no more spacebar items. Would have convinced us probably to have gone to the Demon Judgment. But if you just paid out with Crystal Ball, we would be totally happy. I'll sit here as long as is necessary. How dare you hit me with a run like this on the day of my daughter's wedding? I ain't ever seen the whole Godfather. This is the only part I know. Mostly I know it from Family Guy, I'm embarrassed to admit. He doesn't really talk like this. I haven't seen The Irishman yet, by the way. But I saw a meme on Twitter that made me laugh nonetheless. It was old Robert De Niro sitting at a bar saying, "You're laughing. The Covenant are on reach and you're laughing?" I don't know why it got me so good, but I loved it. I can't be too mad. We got a bunch of Spirit Hearts out of this. So it's all, I mean, we're probably going to win just on the merits of our HP. Can't deny that. However, this run, certainly, I think, if you said, uh-oh, I would feel comfortable putting the word stinky after it. I would agree. I would say this run is at uh-oh stinky levels. 4.65 damage on the Cathedral with a rate of fire that is very good because of quad shot, but not like soy milk levels, it's a bit of a kick in the teeth. But that's, I think we should instead just be like, you know what, Isaac has been pretty good to us lately. Is giving us a lot of runs that were actually like very respectable and not dead ends. So I think you take the good and the bad. That, I just wasn't fast enough off the draw on that one. You take the good with the bad, and you acknowledge that we've actually had a pretty easy road so far. And even this is not even close to, like, unwinnable. Oh, that's very nice. I don't really care about the second secret room. As long as we can just keep making progress here. I don't know what the Fool card is here for. I'm holding it as if it'll provide me with something at some point. That seems, oh, unlikely. Please. Why get so close to him? Because I have an orbital, okay? I've been fighting the orbital seduction the whole run. Cut me some freaking slack. I've had this thing for so long. I've barely used it. Come on. Keep the APM high. Really makes you think. Good enough. Very much good enough. Okay, very simple. Anytime you get the... And this is your indication the run's not that strong when he gets a chance to do that. Anytime you get a chance to do even like a half second of orbital damage is well worth it. If your orbital's not in the right spot, don't sweat it. If it is in the right spot, that little dose of danger is gonna save you some pain. Didn't save me too much pain that time. I am just begging for the chest to not have Curse of the I don't know where I'm going, and then to give me like 2 useful items from the first 4 would... I'd be in heaven. I'm begging you. Okay, so it's Curse of I don't know where I'm going. But they did give us Polyphemus, and Finger should be okay. Okay, I can feel my blood pressure going down, to be honest. Little Brim is also a nice helper. And I should not have played chicken on that, but I'm being sincere. I can feel my blood pressure going down. I'm in a much better spot now. Everything's honky-dory. Is still, I have to admit, for having Polyphemus, it feels like it could be better, but we've done it. Covenant around reach. You're laughing? 258 Spartans gave their lives today, and you're laughing? I am being 100% sincere when I say that tweet has made me more likely to see The Irishman. You can't pay for that kind of promotion. That's organic marketing. Can you explain the joke, NL? The idea of Robert De Niro playing the role of a mafia boss commenting on Halo issues is just innately funny. There's your explanation. It's not highbrow humor. Everybody, whenever they don't find a joke funny, though, they always go, that's stupid. What's your favorite joke? I like when the stand-up comedian does the movie trailer voice and goes, little tortilla boy. Ah, my tortillas, get down. That's stupid. Yeah, but the voice is really... you don't get it, NL. It's funny because his voice is almost exactly the same as the movie trailer guy. It's the height of humor. No, you know what's the height of humor? Robert De Niro saying the Covenant have landed on Reach and you're laughing. We did it. It took a long time, but we made it. For now, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, click the like button. I also had a great deal. Of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. For now, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. See ya!